Good day, fellow traders. How's everyone doing today? It is 8 p.m. Monday, June 19th, here at forexsignals.com. Hope you're having a great day today and the markets are treating you well. It has been pretty quiet in here, though. I have to agree. Looking through some of the chat, things are pretty quiet. Not a lot of stuff going on in the markets right at this very moment. We have, of course, big Australian news coming out in about 30 minutes, monetary policy meeting minutes, and the HPI quarter over quarter, which of course is the house price index. So let's see what we have in store for us, shall we? How's it going, Sungate? Billama 101. Hey, Erebus. Nice to see you, Super Nuba. Good day, good day, good day. So first thing I want to do is, let's see, let's get this back on the hourly. And let's see, where am I at here? I have a long trade on the Euro Aussie that has been grinding and grinding and grinding out for a while now. I'm going to boil this up to the, we'll leave the hourly on here. Let me pull it back over this way. Let's see if I can get this to look a little bit better. You may remember that trade that we took last week. I know this is a little bit hard to see. Maybe this will clean it up a little bit. Remember when there's Australian news coming out and we waited for that 50% fib retracement, sold the Euro Aussie, and pulled out a nice 60-some pips. Price has been pretty stagnant. I mean, there's been some spikes and things here with some of the news, but we have support down below. And my long order on the Euro Aussie here has been grinding out for a long time. I don't even remember when I got in this trade, to be honest with you. Let's see when I got in this thing. Oh, gosh. May have been a couple days ago. I don't remember exactly. But the stop is down at, let me give you the exact stop just so you have it in case you're interested. I'm long Euro Aussie at 46.82. And the stop is at 46.39. So this is the long price. And the stop is down here at the bottom. Give or take a pip, of course. Profit targets are, I don't really have one. Maybe to the moon. To the moon, Alice. Profit targets up at 150. No, I'm just kidding. Be nice. We'll see how this plays out. Of course, we have, and part of the reason I have this trade in, just good old-fashioned technicals support here that came in at about 46.66 and change. But we'll see what happens at the meeting minutes. You know, I'm comfortable enough with this trade to leave it on through that. The stop is 40-some pips away. We'll see what happens. I'd like to see a weak Aussie. I'm also selling the Aussie dollar in another one of my trading accounts as well. Not here, though. I sold that yesterday, just after market open, not too long after market open. So I'm biased for a weak Aussie. Yeah, right on, Erebus. Aussie's bank downgraded. Hey, Big Dave, you got the wave going, man. I love that. That's so cool. Hey, Amrit. Yo, what's up? Nice to see you all. So Euro Aussie long, up a little bit, 70-some bucks. Nothing earth-shattering. We have that silver trade that is just grinding out, isn't it? Man, that talk about grinding out. This is the silver trade. Stops are down here at 16.42. It was a trade idea from last week. We had the little push up, but instead of going whoosh, it's shot down the other direction. My stops are still here. I'm feeling okay about these stops. I mean, if you look left, we got this. Let me pull it over for you a little bit. This long wick down here. And to be honest, if it does get hit with a stop, I think it's going to go way down. I mean, I don't even foresee it stopping down around 16.15 if it does continue to fall. So I could talk with you for hours and hours about this, but just my take on things. I think this swing low on silver here that was put in on May 18th, where I have my stops just below at 16.42, I think that stop, let me pause this for a minute. I think that stop here at just above 1642 is actually more important than the big swing low at 1605 or so. I was studying up on this a little bit over the weekend, and I really feel strongly that if this level breaks that we're at right now, 1642, pretty close to it, right? 1651 we're sitting at now, 1652. I feel like it's going to continue on down way below 16. How low, we'll have to see. But let's put it this way. If silver breaks down beneath 1642, I don't plan on buying it down at 1615. With that being said. All right, I'm going to tuck this away just for a moment. Silver has hit lows for a while. I'm sorry, gold. Remember our zoomed out view here? We have this rising trend line on the daily on gold, this double top up here, and either we're going to pull up and curve back or push down and curve back. Obviously, we're pushing down and curving back here. We're using this plan right here. Going to probably come down somewhere near this trend line. I'm assuming this trend line's still a little ways down. The current price, if we pulled ahead one or two more candlesticks, current price for this trend line is around 1232, give or take, somewhere in that range. Be real interesting to see what happens at that point if we're going to try to buy. I mean, I'd like to try to buy it if we can get down there. Now, remember, this is a daily time frame. So to get down to 1232, price has to move a good $12 or so in gold. Could happen pretty easily, but we'll see how it pans out. If it does, then I'll be looking to get long. Here, the stop will be pretty well controlled, obviously beneath this, well, not obviously, but beneath this next swing low. They'll be long here at 1232. Stops will be coming in somewhere in this vicinity. You'll have to measure up a little bit more. 1209. Now, this is a longer term, swing trade here. This isn't a short-term scalp on the hourly or anything like that. So you have to use smaller lot size. Profit targets will be up near this double top. Still have a greater than a 1-to-1, maybe even a 2-to-1 reward to risk. But for those of you who like to intraday trade, might not be the most exciting trade coming up on a daily. But again, I'm not in it yet. If I get in it, I will let you all know. I'll post it as a trade idea ahead of time. So if you're following me here, you'll see that as a trade idea. Pound dollar, that was the trade that we had taken to the upside. And we entered, let me see here. I can actually put in the exact number. I did not touch this trade on this account. On my other account, I took the stop back a little bit. I think I lost 15 pips on one account. On this one, I just let it go full blown for the trade idea. So here's where we bought pound dollar. Got as high as 38 pips of profit. Could you have pulled stops up? Sure. I did on my other account a ways. I lost about 10, 15. I pulled my stops up right around here on my other account. I should pull that one up for you, but 2762s or so, 2760 is where I hit my stop on my other account. And this one I just left for the full. I let it run for the trade idea at 127.40. Do I think it's going to go down? I really don't foresee it going down, but here's the thing we have to remember. U.S. equities had closed again at all-time highs. Dow's at 21,528.99, so 21,529, up 144 points. The S&P's up 20 points. NASDAQ's up 87 points. So U.S. stock market, U.S. indices closing at all-time highs today. So that takes a lot of, puts a lot of risk back into the market. I mean, it basically gives us a risk-on scenario. And when you get a risk-on scenario, the dollar's very unpredictable for me. I'm not that confident with picking a direction on the dollar, but what we want to do, of course, is go to the yen pairs because that's where you see the risk come in. The yens will weaken, the yens will be sold off, the yen crosses will rise with this risk-on sentiment with the world equities rising high and setting new records today. But the reason I'm not in the pound dollar or euro dollar right now is I'd rather play either a cross like the euro pound or a yen pair. I think the best trades right now with the way the market's looking is to be long on one of the yen pairs. So you have to pick your favorite. I mean, if you just look at the euro pound on the hourly here, if you're trying to pick which one's more strong to get in to buy a euro or a pound yen cross, it's pretty mixed, right? I mean, we've had how many hours here? 60 some hours. of sort of choppiness in the euro pound, up and down, forming this wedge formation here. If you shrink that down and look over at the euro Aussie, I mean, I don't think you really want to be, picking a currency here, because there's support coming in at the bottom. Aussie yen long, I think you'd do better off with pound yen or euro yen long. Dollar yen long broke out today, of course, but now we're sitting right at a key structure. I think you can see that on my chart, hopefully here, but we broke out, of course, today and rose up about 30 pips. And now we're right at this key structure here of resistance, right at 111.70. We broke out by about, 7-8 pips, something like that. So the dollar yen, I think it's going to go higher. It's trending higher here. It's looking like it's going to go higher. Stock markets are pushing up. I think it's going to go higher. But I'm not as convinced about the dollar. So my choice would be something like the euro yen long or the pound yen long. So what I'm going to do here is just delete a bunch of stuff off my chart here and keep it sort of clean for you. There was a couple areas that I was looking at earlier today. We have this descending trend line here. Doesn't have to be exact, but you get the idea. And we also have the next areas of structure resistance sitting up here at this double top. And before that, at this swing high here, 125.29. So that's still a long ways up, another 75 pips or so. Here's the point I'm trying to make. Is this a little bit overextended to the upside, 200 pips? Maybe. But I think that the euro yen could see a nice rise upwards. We zoom out to the weekly, we see that we have some more structural area of resistance here, 125.80s. Basically, if we get to 126 and above, it's to the moon with the euro yen. I just don't see any reasons for the yen currency to strengthen here in the short term. So I like euro yen long. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and just take one here with you. 0.4. Put my stops down a little bit conservatively here, about 124.14. 124.14. I'm going to leave my take profit, my target off for now. So I've been looking at this trade for a while. I'm not just randomly picking it here with you. If we do get a pullback a little bit lower, maybe 10, 15 pips, around 124.30s, let's just put it back here somewhere. If we get a pullback into this area, I think that it'd be a nice place to go long, get a little better price than perhaps what I got. I'm not going to be very surprised at all, nor should you, if the euro yen pulls back maybe 10, 12, 13, 15 pips here before continuing up. But I'm going to go ahead and take my long right now, my buy order. That's what I sort of see happening. So if you're not long right now in euro yen, but you want to be, I think you get a little bit better price than what I got. But I'm going to take it for what it's worth here. Pound yen, same type of idea, just a little bit more resistance coming in. I'm sure those of you who trade pound yen see this very easily, but there is a strong level of resistance here all the way across the top. What we're seeing here is higher lows, and I think we're going to eventually break out and pump through. And like usual, when pairs break out, especially something like the pound yen, it's not too surprising to see that momentum push us way up, a nice 20, 30, 40 pips initially. We also have the top of the gap here on the 4-hour that we had previously. That was put in around June 8th, June 9th. Remember that gap down that we had? The gap is now filled. Prices settled out a little bit. We have what's called a rising wedge here, which is a very bullish pattern. Right. So I think that pound yen's going to move to the upside. I think we're going to see a good old-fashioned breakout. That's my bias. Maybe it's not right away. Possibly a breakout with a retest and a continuation, which would make it a little safer for a longer-term entry here. But that's the direction I see the pound yen going here. Yeah, YouTube's still acting up a little for me here. It says unable to connect to chat. I know we're live still and it's looking okay, but YouTube's been a little buggy, I guess, lately. Stream should be good. So I like pound yen long. I took a euro yen long. I have a euro Aussie long, and I have my silver long. That's starting to recover a little bit here. Just a little bit of recovery on silver, pulling up now to 1653. Got a ways to go to get back to our entry. We got to go all the way back up here till about 1679 to where I'm long on silver. But we are bouncing off this gray area of support, and I'm expecting that to hold. If it doesn't, I am not going to be buying silver again. I don't, for a while. I don't think it's going to. I don't think this area of support in the bottom is going to hold very much. So we'll have to see how that plays. Sort of nice to have the longer term type trades. I'm not talking about investing where you sit on something for, months or years, but when you can have a trade on and just let it do its thing. We're seeing the dollar index push down just a little bit here. This is the 5-minute time frame on the dollar index. Seeing a little push down weaker here. Coming into Asian session. Again, we're still in this box. I think I can go ahead and extend this box out on the dollar index. Obviously, we want to break out of this box one way or the other, unless you're trading channels. I'd like to see a breakout either way. It doesn't matter to me which way it goes. I guess in the short term, I'd like to see it go up, since I have my Aussie dollar sell on my other account right now. But again, it's all going to depend on the news that we have coming up here at 8:30 p.m. About 12 minutes, 11 minutes from now. What's going on with crude? Still dogging it. Dog days of crude oil, huh? We got our swing low just behind my video there. You can probably see it right there. That swing low where that little wick is next to the video. That's sitting right about 43.73. Your broker price might be a little different than that, depending on where the wick took in. But we're coming up close. And we got really close. 44. That breaks down, I think. Crude could roll over. And all the people talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum and all these other things over the last couple of weeks, few months. I know some of you have been doing it for a lot longer than that. But I think that one of the great trades to have into the future will be buying crude if it does push back down here or anywhere near this area again. We talked about the price to produce a barrel, 25-ish, give or take a few. Could change too, but... So what does that leave us with? Let's take a look at dollar CAD. Let's see, these levels here. Let's see what we got here on dollar CAD. Let me clean up this chart here. We've got this longer term stuff I always like to watch. All the yen going up, CAD yen good too. Yeah, you got it, Yerbus. Just went long a little euro dollar a little more. Nice, ladybug. Hope you're doing great, by the way. Too much solar and wind power. Hello, GJ Scalper. Nice. Yeah, too much solar and wind power. There is a lot, and the price of crude's coming down, and people want electric cars and a lot of stuff. But still, if crude gets down that low, I think it's going to be a good price to buy. I mean, gosh, don't have a whole lot of downside risk, I don't think, at that price. This trend line on the weekly on dollar CAD is about as ugly as it gets. But no matter how you slice it, we broke beneath the trend line. Even if you drew it up a little bit higher, you connected a little bit down deeper, we still did break beneath that longer term weekly trend line on crude. I'm sorry, on dollar CAD. As you all probably know, if you've been watching me for a while, dollar CAD sort of my nemesis pair. Over all the years I've been trading, it's probably my least successful. I like it short. And if I had to pick a direction, I would pick it to the downside. Yeah, I like it short. The only thing is, crude is so low. I just don't see the CAD being strong. I see the CAD being weaker. But technically, I like it short. And that's one of the reasons I'm sort of mixed here. Euro CAD, on the other hand, is sort of floating in no man's land here, isn't it? Yeah, Euro CAD is about as mixed as... Whew. I don't like either of the CAD pairs, to be honest with you. Either of the two that I watch, Euro CAD, dollar CAD. I like dollar CAD short, just technically speaking. And Euro CAD, if I had to pick a direction, I'd probably try taking a shorter term trade long. I think dollar yen's going to have a little retracement here from 1170. Euro pound, that's a pair I haven't talked about a lot. Let's take a peek at that one next. As you can tell, I'm sort of easing into this trading week a little bit. The only trades that I have are the ones you see now and the Aussie dollar short on my other account. Euro pound, I was looking at this yesterday. It's just at a sticking point for me, This is the 23.6 fib of that whole move up. We're sitting above these areas of support. And I'm just really mixed on it. I mean, obviously the markets are quiet, right? Yens are weakening up, but the euro, the pound, things are pretty quiet here. You got sort of a chopped up trend line here, depending on how you want to draw it. Could draw it like this, I suppose. Same thing here. We got this wedge. Which way is it going to break out? Hard to tell. I mean, there's reasons for pound strength and pound weakness. Again, if I had to pick a direction on the euro pound, I would pick it to the downside. I like it to the downside more than the upside. Get this sort of head and shoulders pattern on the hourly. Maybe we'll put in another shoulder, and this will be a longer term head and shoulders in this whole area. We'd have a shoulder here, the head here, and a shoulder here. And that's about 180, 190 pips from this possible neckline up to the top of the head. So that would put us way down, back at 85. So I like euro pound short greater than I do long. But as you can tell by my charts, I'm not trading it. I'm just not warm and fuzzy about it. Ladybug's been short euro CAD since last week. Nice job. Erebus liked the euro CAD short yesterday. It's a keeper. 144. Yeah. Markets are just pretty quiet. Let's take a quick look at a few things here while my screens are up here. I think we got that. Yeah, you should be able to see that now. So we have the news, right? And we have the big news coming out of Australia here in about 4 or 5 minutes, monetary policy meeting minutes. Usually, if I wasn't doing a live stream, I listened to it on the live squawk if I could get some info there. Nothing really coming through here on Financial Juice. Also got Twitter I'm watching here. Trump's been tweeting a little bit. He's happy that half the people approve and half disapprove. Talk about healthcare and things like that. So on the news tonight, we got the Australian news. Tomorrow, we have a bunch of speakers, really. We have speakers coming out of Great Britain, Governor Carney. We have Swiss National Bank Chairman Jordan speaking for the Swiss franc. And they have it at 3:45 and 4. Then we have FOMC member Fisher speaking for the U.S. And then we have Kaplan speaking for the U.S. again at 2 o'clock. Other than that, no other high-impact news releases for all of tomorrow. On Wednesday, crude oil inventories, and then we got the big bank statement and cash rate out of New Zealand. I don't think they're going to be changing the interest rate on New Zealand. I don't see any reason for that. I could be wrong. Again, as you probably know, if you've been watching me do my streams for a while, I don't trade the Swiss franc and I don't trade the New Zealand currency very often. I'm not an expert in that currency, that fundamental area. So the speakers, the hard thing about when having people speak is that it doesn't come out right at a set time, right? So they can be speaking and part of the speech can be going normal as expected, and then they can drop a bomb at the end and send the markets into turmoil. So just be a little weary if you're trading the Great British Pound or the Swiss franc tomorrow, especially around the time that the talks are going on. Of course, we had the huge moves up. This is the cheesy old Yahoo chart that I've been watching for years and years. It's just the way I do it. U.S. stock markets really just cranking here. I mean, this is going back for 5 years. We're right up on the Dow at all-time highs today. So let's get rid of that. So we're going to be watching for the Australian Monetary Policy meeting minutes coming out and the HPI. HPI is the house price index. I was trying to get an idea. We sort of have this little fun thing, at least I think it is, trying to pick which way the Australian news is going to come out. HPI, I'm not really in the mood to pick one of those. I mean, it's really mixed. If we zoom it in here a little, this is Forex Factory histogram, and take a look. I mean, they've been lowering the expectation, each quarter here. And the last one, I'm mixed. I'm not going to pick one. I mean, it might come out right around the number. We'll have to see. The policy meeting minutes are much more important, of course. Let's take a jump over to the momentum meter for a moment. There we go. So on the momentum meter, we see strength out of the Canadian dollar, strength on a New Zealand dollar, and then we see some sort of chop and slop out of the rest. I mean, everything's sort of on and off. You can see the flickering here as I'm talking. If we look at the deviation from the 20 moving average here on the 1 hour time frame, we have the Japanese yen really weak, coming up, catching us 20, still weak overall. If we look at the 4 hour, I think you get a better feel of where things are at. The Japanese yen currency is the weakest. The strongest currency right now is the Canadian dollar, followed barely by the US dollar. So that's where we're at for over currency. And this is going back from June 20th all the way back to June 6th. So this is the 4 hour time frame. Of course, we have the Canadian dollar spike here when they talked about possibly removing anything holding up the Canadian dollar, basically adding stimulus or possibly raising interest rates sometime in the not too distant future out of Canada. The odds of it happening this year, I think, are still very low. Then we had the really low Great British Pound down here. We all know what happened there with the hung parliament and so forth. And now here we sit. Canadian dollars rising to the top, yen's pulling up the bottom, and the others are sort of coagulating here in the middle during this Asian session, which is pretty common. Now we're going to see what happens out of Australia. Let's take a look and see. All right. So there's the minutes. Let's see. CAD yen. CAD yen short. I don't trade the CAD yen. I don't have it up on my charts. Let's take a look at your trade idea. Let's pull it right over there and see. So this is the CAD yen short. Just looking at your chart on the hourly, I like it. I like it. I like the ABC pattern that you have here. A to B, B to C, A, B, C, D. The only part about this trade that I don't like is I foresee weakness still in the Japanese yen. Maybe the CAD yen will be one to take to the downside, but I like weakness overall in the Japanese yen, just because the stock markets are so high and the indices are so high around the world, especially here in the US. Cool. So here we're seeing what's happened on the Aussie. Had a push up about 10 pips. Now it's falling apart pretty quickly. I'm going to take a look at my other account here to see where I'm at. Let's see, volatility rolling in. Yep, ABCDE. Hey, day trader. What's your stop loss? AFX, thanks for posting that, the minutes. Can take a look at those. Appreciate it very much. So far what's happened with the Aussie is we've come back to about where we started before the minutes were released. I did not look at the numbers yet for the HPI. They come out exactly. They came out exactly as expected. So I have to say it, right? I can't go on without saying it. I have to at least bring it up. I told you I couldn't predict up or down because it's been lowering. Probably come up right on the number. And there it is, exact. Sort of spooky, right? I think I'm 5 for 5. Didn't want to guess, though, so I won't count that one. We don't count that one. Financial juice. Let's take a look at this Forex live post. Watching labor and housing markets carefully. Oh, that's all it is. Okay. Thought they were going to do a little more analysis of it there because I obviously didn't read it yet. Probably take a few minutes to read. The board decided to leave the cash rate unchanged at 1.5%. Okay. So for now, I'm still selling Aussie dollar. And I still like Euro Aussie long. This is the 1 minute chart on the Euro Aussie. You can see this volatility pushing down, pushing up 20 some pips. So I don't foresee, the news that came out of the Australian currency as moving the markets a lot. However, what I do think will happen is that let me get back to my charts here. Sorry about that. Flip these back here. I was just showing the Aussie, the Euro Aussie here. What will probably happen now is that traders, investors, hedge fund traders, managers, banks may eventually here in the next maybe 15 minutes, half hour, pick a direction for the Aussie for once here. Because we got the data, the news has come out. So I think we're going to see a little bit of drifting and then we're going to see a direction chosen. I like the Euro Aussie up and I like the Aussie dollar down. but we'll have to see. Obviously, we'll see how it turns out. Aussie dollar down. Euro Aussie up. That's what I like for right now. And of course, Euro Yen long. Got that rocking. Silver's coming around just a little bit. Take a look at Euro Yen though. Starting to move. And when I looked at your trade there, Bilamo 101, I always try to be optimistic, right? But I really feel pretty strongly. I mean, if I were putting out a trade idea, just general trade idea on the yen currency, I feel like 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10 that we're going to see yen weakness throughout this Asian session. And we're seeing that right now a little bit on the euro yen. We're catching some of it on the pound yen. Not as much. And dollar yen, mixed on that. But we are seeing a break above finally 111.70. I think these three currency pairs have ways to move to the upside. Euro yen is my favorite. That's the one I put the trade on for a reason. Euro pound, if I had to pick a decision, I'd probably pick it to the downside. Although I'm not convinced enough to be in the euro pound, I would choose it to the downside for sure. So that's what I have for you, folks. I got a long on silver that's down a bit, grinding back. I got a new trade long euro yen. I think that's a decent trade idea. I also have a short on Aussie dollar on one of my other accounts. And I have a buy on euro Aussie that I've been holding for a while now. That is sitting right at break even here. DXY is confusing as all get out. I mean, which way is it going to go? There's a million reasons to have a million different opinions. I think you got to just trade what you see on the charts. And that is yen weakness. I mean, look, take this as, if you're going to remember anything that I've told you here during this session, U.S. indices and stock markets are at all-time highs today. We're not talking about monthly highs or 2-week highs. We're talking about all-time, like the highest they've ever been. And if that doesn't spell yen weakness and risk on in the markets, I don't know what does. So that's my advice for tonight, is to be buying the yen crosses. Pick your favorite, Aussie yen, CAD yen, fine. I'd rather see euro yen, pound yen. Dollar yen I think is going to be okay, but I don't think you'll get quite as much bang for your buck on that one. Cool. You got it, euro yen starting to push out. Hit fake action. You got a big Dave. Any ongoing thoughts on your silver trade idea? Yeah, I mean, what I'm going to do is just ride it out. That's what I had covered in the beginning here. I don't really have much other choice. I'm definitely not going to, let's see if I can get this right here. There we go. I'm definitely not going to add to this, because rule number 1 for me, that has saved me a lot of money over the years. Never add to a trade that's losing. And my buy order, my entry price, as you know from the trade idea, is sitting right here about 116.78-ish, 116.79. So until this gets up higher, I'm not going to touch it. You know, we're already close to the stop, so I'm keeping my stop at 16.42. If it hits, it hits. If it does hit, I'm not going to be going long at the swing lows. I don't think the swing lows on the longer term, like on this daily way down in this area, I don't think they're going to stick. I think we're going to push down maybe 15.60 if it does break down. However, if silver does push up, the plan that I put on the trade idea is still very valid in my humble opinion. If we break up to 1690s, I'm going to be pulling up my stop to 1660 and then possibly adding some more, or at least getting the stop up to 1660. So 1690, if we get there on silver, that's a ways away for silver, boy. But if we get up to 1690, that's my trigger to move my stops up to 1660, like I wrote in the trade idea. So that's really all I have for you on that one. I think the take-home message for me on silver is, if it doesn't hold and we fall beneath, I don't think the $16 area is going to hold as much as traders think. I think we're going to push down to 1560s after that. But silver, you know, when silver gets really low, it's sort of the same idea as crude for me. I'm sure it's like that for everybody, but you can only take a commodity so low, and then you get down to the price it costs to produce it, and then it becomes a good deal. So if silver goes down lower, Yeah, I want to win this trade. I always want to win trades, but I especially want to win the trades, make profits on the ones that I post to everybody as a trade idea. But for my own personal account, my own personal well-being, I like the idea of silver pushing way down and getting a really good price and then adding in all the way up. Maybe this will be the bottom. Maybe this is the lowest price silver will ever be in the future. I don't know. That's the fun of the markets, trying to put the puzzle together. But just psychologically speaking, my emotions are out of the game for this one. Everything's set and forget. Take profit or target is way up at 1760. And that's really all I have to say about silver. I'm still liking Aussie dollar to the downside. Still liking it to the downside. We just got to get it beneath these swing lows here. If we can get the Aussie buck down beneath 75.85, I'll tell you my goal on Aussie dollar is to have this gray box here. We'll extend it out. That's pretty accurate, I think. So these are the areas of resistance here. These are areas of support. And if we can break beneath 75.85 or 75.84 on the Aussie buck, we're only 9-10 pips away from that. I think we're going to see that impulsive action push us down through this gray box. I think we're going to see it come down like this and then come back up, retest it, and then push down further. That's my trade plan on the Aussie, pushing back down into the 38.2, which of course we have another very, very strong area of support coming in right here. So my trade plan right now involves basically 50 pips, maybe 60 pips of movement to the downside on the Aussie buck. We'll see. That would tie in nicely to a long on the Euro Aussie, which is what I'm in right now. Currently catching a little bit of a bid. 1 minute chart just for excitement value. So Andrew and I are going to be having a nice little chat tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. He's been putting in a lot of work here, a lot of live streams. So I'm excited to talk to him tomorrow. I'm going to finally get caught up with him for a while. Looking forward to that. But otherwise, just be aware of those people that are speaking tomorrow. We got 3. Got Swiss franc, Great British pound, and US dollar 2 times. With people speaking about the economy and the currency that can whip the markets a little bit. Cool. Let's see. Euro yen start push up. I'm convinced silver will come good. It's just touching bottom in Bollinger's. Nice. Yo, target on EJ Long. I don't have one on that actually. I can make one with you here now, but I really don't have one. That's the thing I covered when I took this a little bit earlier. I just don't have one. The next target that we had talked about was the swing highs, just straight old-fashioned technical analysis. That's my next target. I don't know if it's going to be a point where I'll feel comfortable closing the trade, or if it's just going to be trailing the stop up a ways. But that's a nice move though. 75, 80 pips to the upside. So that's really where I'm shooting for. There's a swing high that was put in over here, 125.28, right along this black line. So I guess I do have a target. I mean, that's where I'm looking for. If you look left between where we are right now and this target up here, there's just really nothing. We got a little bit of technical resistance, a little wick sticking right over here, 124.70, but I think we're going up to 125.28. That's what I hope. At least 125.20. Let's see. Trade prints. Should I continue shorting pound Swiss? Swissy, man, the Swiss franc. I don't trade it very often. I wish I could give you better analysis on that. I'll pull it up here so we can take a look. I don't think I've ever talked to you, Trade Prince 29. Nice to hear from you. Let's see. I'm going to open up the pound Swiss here for us. I know for sure there's people in this room that trade pound Swiss pretty aggressively. So if you have any opinion on pound Swiss, feel free to chime in and share it. This is pound Swiss. I have not had a pound Swiss chart up for, man, at least 3 to 6 months, I would think. Got to be something like that. Maybe I pulled it up after the first year or something with you guys. Pound Swiss, this is what it looks like on the monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hour, hour. Man, just stuck on, man. So my feeling on pound Swiss is mixed. I'm very neutral on it. I think you probably were expecting me to say that, I would imagine. If we look at the 200 moving average as a bearing for our overall trend, the monthly direction is down, the weekly is down, the daily is down, 4 hours down, hourly is up, 15 minutes down. So basically, long-term trend is to the downside. You can see that without using any moving averages. Man, I'm really stuck on that. If you're shorting the pound Swiss and in profit, if you've been riding this thing down, maybe you've been on this 4-hour run, shorting this thing down a ways, wouldn't be the worst time to take some profits. Just joined the group chat 2 days ago. Yeah, welcome, Trade Prince. Feel free to post in the chat room too. I mean, you'll get a lot of feedback. One of the great things about this room is posting your trade ideas, either as a trade idea or even just in the comments. Let people rip them apart a little bit. I mean, it'll get you to see some things you might miss. Pound Swiss for me right now is looking so flat. Obviously, you know that. I mean, it's just flat as an arrow here for quite a while. I mean, we're going back how many hours? 60 some hours. I don't follow the Swiss currency. I used to trade the Euro Swiss before the peg got broken out. And thankfully, I wasn't in anything as far as that. I wasn't in any trades with the Euro Swiss then, but it looks a little overextended to me. Let's put it that way. Obviously, the trend is down, but I think the pound Swiss could either be near the bottom or possibly looking for a nice retracement to the upside. So that's just my quick and dirty technicals on it. I like pound strength coming in a little bit too, as you can tell by my bias trying to buy pound dollar the other day. Bias to sell euro pound. Irba says pound is weak, Swiss is weak. Yeah, they're both weak. Yeah, the silver update. Trade with Yudi. Trade with Yudi. Silver update is just we're holding steady. I talked about it a couple times, I think twice so far. So if you missed it, you can just rewatch this recording. Just click in the upcoming video tab right by my face up in the top left, and you'll see the drop-down menu and toggle the little yellow button, and you can see all the previous ones as well. And you can watch the analysis of it. But basically, I'm just keeping it the same. I'm going to write out exactly what the trade idea says. If we do get up to 1690, I'm pulling my stop up to 1660. And then possibly adding more if it comes up. Now, we got a lot of work to do on silver. If it breaks down, my stop's still going to stay at 1642. All right, so here's my overall bias, right? Drum roll, please. Not that it's any more important than your bias or anyone else's bias, but it is the live stream I'm doing right now, so I'm assuming that if you're watching, you want to hear the bias. My bias is weak yens. I want to be buying euro yen, pound yen, dollar yen, maybe a little bit. Not as motivated about dollar yen. I like a weak Aussie. I like selling Aussie dollar, buying euro Aussie. I also like selling euro versus the pound. So I like pound strength the most out of all the currencies. Closely tied to euro. Euro and pound I think are going to chop around for a while back and forth. Hence my choice of euro versus pound, yen long. And of course silver to the upside. It's coming back, though. I got to tell you, silver's starting to come back just a little bit here. Not getting too excited. Going from 1658 to 1678 is a big move in silver, at least in my opinion. DXY I'm very, very mixed on. Crude we talked about being, right near the bottom. Let me get my crude back here. There we go. So that's all I have for you, folks. I mean, I don't want to get in on a big psychological rant here because I can do it. You're welcome, Trade Prince. Yeah, Ladybug, you too. Thanks. Trade with Yudi. Just call Yudi. Cool. I like that name, Yudi. Nice. So without getting on a big psychological rant, I mean, I like getting into fundamentals. I like getting into technicals. I like talking about trading psychology, money management, how to become a consistent, profitable, long-term trader with all of you. But really, this is what it is. Telling you what I'm watching, giving you the summary, telling you what my biases are. Maybe I'll help you get in some trades you wouldn't have got in, or maybe my bias is totally opposite of yours. Maybe I'll save you some money. Either way, make sure it's your own trade your own plan. And like I've said probably 100 times, take all the information from other people in the room, from my review, from Andrew's, from Tony's, from the chat room, from all the websites you find online, and distill it down into your own trade plan. Take it for what it's worth. And it's nice when everything lines up, but it doesn't always happen that way. Hence the joy of trading in the markets. But that's what I have right now. So if I look at my terminal here, I have a total of 3 open trades, including my Aussie dollar short in my other account. So silver long, euro Aussie long, euro yen long. Silver, I don't know if this is a gasp up for some air or what, but don't usually see quite as big of moves out of silver during Asia, but I don't know. Somebody around the world knows something I don't know, I'm sure. But I like it. Buy stop at euro Aussie 1. Let's see here. If you have a couple minutes, I would appreciate any pulling apart of my recent trade ideas. Okay. Silver buy stop. Buy stop in euro Aussie. Let's take a look. 47.13. Oh yeah, I like that. I like that. Actually, euro Aussie, obviously I'm long right now. But I think that if you have a buy stop and you're waiting for an order to trigger, once it confirms the upward momentum, I would maybe be just a little bit more cautious. 47.17-ish? Because if you look left, we have all these wicks over here just above 47.14. And if I take off and just scroll my chart way over here, probably be better just to shrink it down. Let me shrink it down for you. We have... Where am I at here? Don't mind my crazy chart rolling here. But if you look to the left, 47.14, we have these wicks over here. And if I zoom it out a ways, we have another wick right where my crosshairs are on May 15th on your chart. So on May 15th, there's another one right around 47.14. So if you want to be really careful and really cautious, I'd put it at 47.17 maybe. Just a little extra room. I know it's not a big deal, but that's what I like. I'm hoping that Aussie collapses. Yeah, you got it. Yo-Yo, I haven't looked at trade ideas before. Let's just do a quick little look. I like when Andrew does it. I've talked about doing it. I have never done it once yet. So let's just do it real quick and see. See how it pans out. Give him a few minutes here. Holy moly, I've been on for 55 minutes. Make it quick. Take a look. Euro dollar short. I'm sorry, dollar yen short. We talked about that a lot. I think this is overextended a little bit. However, there is a lot of support where your chart is here, where the big red arrow, this really nice large arrow, huge arrow, 111.43. Obviously, that's the nice support level. So it'd be nice if we could, get it back to super quick scalp short back and support and current uptrend. Right on. So I think this trade idea is good because my bias is to the upside. You're targeting back down to support to get long again. I like that. I'm not quite convinced that we're going to get all the way back down there, but I do like it. Good. Yeah, and I like that. You said super quick short. So, I mean, you're agreeing the trend is up, of course, but you want to see if we can play it to the downside. You got it. Let's take a look. You can look at all of your trade ideas. See how nice it is, Yo-Yo? Euro CAD long. This one I actually gave a heart a little while ago. Yep, I clicked heart on that one. Yo-Yo, Jason, and Yudi. We like that one. I like EuroCAD to the upside. I like it more to the upside than I like dollar CAD. Dollar CAD I like down just technically, but I don't like it down fundamentally. So EuroCAD would be the one that I would buy. Possible continuation, fib retracements in blue. Cool. Charts are looking really nice, Yo-Yo. I like it. And then what else do we have? Euro pound short. Hey, there we go. I didn't even see this one. I'll give it a little heart there. This is off the daily. RSI coming from above 75. MACD signal for short of strong. Target prices, blue fibs since May. I like this one a lot, actually. Euro pound short. Very nice. And then one more here. This one I'm not going to be able to give you too much comment on. New Zealand dollar short. Because I don't trade New Zealand very much. But I like it. Obviously, I like my Aussie dollar short for a ways. Approximate trade time, 5 days. Target 1, 2, 3. Really nice looking charts, Yo-Yo. I got to give you some props here. I like the explanations. Very nice. And then, of course, this one was funny, right? Andrew Lockwood hat. Funny. All right, cool guys and gals. Silver's still pushing up. All right. So I got the most money betting on Euro Aussie long and Aussie dollar short. So I will leave it at that, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great night. I'll be on the chat here and off and on tonight, and then tomorrow I'm free almost all day long. So it's going to be sort of nice to get in deep with the markets again. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday morning, Monday night, starting through Friday morning. That's when I like to get into it pretty deep. So I'll see you on the other side. Thanks for tuning in. Make it a great day and happy trading.